Parent fostering or adopting a child with special needs may seem hugely intimidating, especially when those children have mental disabilities. But today's guests are going to dispel many of the myths and concerns people have. Join me for an uplifting approach to nurturing the hearts of kids who need it most.
Cindy Skinner is the founder and CEO of Focus on Youth. It's a nonprofit, faith-based foster care and adoption agency in Westchester, Ohio. Following generations of her family before her, Cindy chose to become a foster parent, then later on an adoptive parent. Her adopted son Robert is mentally challenged. Raising Robert sparked a passion in Cindy's heart to work with more special needs children. Focus on Youth primarily works with children who have special needs. They strive hard to provide stable, loving environments for kids who need it most.
Our mission is to find families to help children reach their full potential.
Simple as that. How do you do that?
Well, we look for the best families we can find, and then we give them the best training we can give them, and we give them the most support we can give them, and we just are right there with them through the whole journey. So our goal to help kids stay settled and not be moved. In foster care, so frequently kids are bounced from home to home, and a lot of that is because people don't understand the behaviors they bring to foster care. So we try to work with our families from the very beginning. When you come here, you're going to get 36 hours of training. You're going to get additional training before we even place a child in your home, so that we help you understand where the child is coming from, and then you can better cope with the issues that you face with them.
Well, what sets you apart? What sets Focus on Youth apart from other, say, adoption agencies or foster care facilities?
Well, I think what sets us apart first is that we're a faith-based organization. I think secondly is the level of commitment we have to our families. We're really committed to having excellence for children, but to do that, I have to get the best families. So when we work with our families, we're looking for people who are really ready to give of themselves, and people who are willing to get the training that's necessary. It's a commitment, and we want folks to make that commitment. And if they make that commitment, then we know we're going to be 50% of the way, because we're going to give them the tools to work with. We also have on-call services, so 24/7. If there's an issue they need to talk about, something's going on with the child, then they can call, and somebody will be there to talk to them.
Cindy, give me some specifics of what the special needs are in the children that you see.
The special needs can include anything from, in Ohio, it includes anything from maybe this child is a part of a sibling group and they want the children to stay together. So maybe there are 3 children. Maybe one of the children has some behavioral issues or some mental health issues, but they really want the child to be able to stay with the 2 siblings. That's probably one of our biggest special needs, I think, all over the country, is people who are willing to foster or adopt sibling groups of 2 or more children. Other situations that we've seen at Focus include children with physical disabilities, cerebral palsy. We've had children that have been abused and have had maybe permanent spine injuries from it, neck injuries, kids that have to have lots of physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. Then you have parents who maybe have a mental illness themselves, and maybe they're not living in poverty, but children can take on some of the aspects of a parent with a mental illness. Then you're not sure if they really have the mental illness or if they're kind of mimicking the parent's mental illness. So then you know, and a lot of times we get kids into a different environment, and you begin to see this kid is really different. This child really has potential and ability. So it's really interesting to see the different avenues that can occur with kids.
Working with special needs children requires a great deal of time and energy. Focus on Youth goes above and beyond when working with their kids. Cindy and her staff have implemented new and innovative ways of reaching and guiding children. They use play therapy and the nurtured heart approach to better help and communicate with children.
This is a sand tray back here, And so if you're a child and you come in for therapy and you've been abused, but you're really trying not to tell anybody because you don't want to get anybody in trouble, and you're already, now you're out of your home and you think everybody's going to be killed because you told on them. So kids will draw on the sand tray and they can take toys down and they can tell you stuff without telling you.
So there's a reason for
Everything in this room has a reason.
Wow.
Every single thing in this room, including the rug we're sitting on. I mean, every paper, everything has a reason. It's a very precise therapy. So, and my ladies are certified play therapists.
A lot of agencies medicate children who are facing mental situations or disabilities, but Focus on Youth really takes a different approach. Tell me a little bit about your Nurtured Heart approach.
The Nurtured Heart approach was founded by Howard Glasser out of Tucson, Arizona. It's looking at taking a child with intensity, a child with intense behaviors, and helping that child find ways that he or she can be successful without constantly focusing on the negativity of their behaviors. So we really get rid of negativity. We don't give energy to it at all. We give energy to what the child is doing that we want them to do. Now that doesn't mean that they don't get consequences. We do have consequences. They're swift and sure, and they're over and done with. Kids can internalize these new behaviors and this positive way of thinking, you know, I can be successful, and that's the whole idea, is energize the kids to success.
When we return, we'll meet a wonderful family who's been taking children into their home for over a decade.
Thank you for inviting us into your home. Each week we feature real people who deal with real life issues head on. Some of their experiences are uplifting, while others will break your heart. But in the end, the message is clear. Those who follow biblical principles on the issues of life are blessed. Become a partner with us in providing a positive, life-affirming message to help change the way the next generation values innocent human life. Please consider a generous gift to help offset the costs of producing this important quality programming. You can donate on our secure website at facinglife.tv or by calling the phone number on your screen during normal business hours. Together, we can make a real difference for life.
Over the past 12 years, Kevin and Kim Bennett have fostered over 20 special needs children with the help of Focus on Youth. Kim's aunt, who fostered and adopted numerous kids over the years, inspired the Bennetts. Kevin and Kim knew they too wanted to open their home and dedicate their lives to helping kids who often go overlooked.
We had our first child, and when she was 3, we decided that we wanted to bring other children into our home. We wanted to make a difference in the lives of children, and we wanted to take children that nobody else wanted, because we wanted to make a difference in the lives of children. And we thought there are so many kids out here that, you know, lots of people want and will take, but there's lots of kids out here that nobody wants and nobody wants to take. Those are the kids we want to work with and we want to help.
Basically helping children, that's really what we got into it for, is to help children. And then, you know, we went through the training and classes and things like that of foster care. Then our first placement, we wound up adopting.
Now you have 2 biological children, 1 adopted, 5 in the process of being adopted, and 2 foster kids, which makes 10.
Yes.
How have these adopting children and foster parenting children, how has this affected your biological children?
Well, it's taught them not to be so self-centered and not jealous, you know, be more caring and giving.
They don't lack because we do what we do. If anything, I think their lives are enriched. I look at our children and I think that they are great children, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that we are not just foster parents. we are a foster family. It's all of us. And my kids know, every one of them, from my biological to my foster to my adopted, knows that we need all of them to do what we do. There are times when I haven't been able to reach a child in their situations, but my other children have, because they understand and they can relate to them. So that's part of the reason I think that being a large family has been such a blessing for us, because our kids all work together to encourage one another and to help one another.
A major employer in the Bennetts community recently pulled out, leaving thousands of people, including Kevin, unemployed. The Bennetts were in the process of adopting 5 more children when this devastating event occurred. But Kevin and Kim are determined not to let this setback affect their family.
The major employer in this rural area pulled out. You were affected by that, you lost your job.
Yeah.
So most people would look at your situation and say, we need to stop adopting these children, yet you have 5 adoptions pending. So what motivates you to keep on going and take these children in and care for them?
Well, we were in the process of adopting the 3, and that's when I was employed. And I couldn't just say, well, I don't have a job anymore, I'm not going to adopt any of these kids. That's not right. That's another loss in their lives. That would have been another loss in our lives. We're just going to hope for the best, and God will make a way.
These kids have already been through enough. We definitely don't want to see them go through any more. Kids deserve permanency. Whether you're a rich family or whether you're a family truly dependent upon God, they deserve permanency and they deserve love, and that's what they're going to get here. So we're not going to back down because things are going to get hard, or things are getting hard. Things are going to get hard everywhere. That's what we believe. We're going to give them the best life that they can have, that we can give them. They might not have the finer things in life, but they'll have what they need, and they'll have love.
Coming up, we'll learn how Focus on Youth goes above and beyond in preparing parents to foster and adopt children with special needs.
Whether you're a student needing answers, a parent needing help, or a concerned citizen wanting to make a difference, Life Issues Institute has the resources you need to put your values into action. Life Issues Institute is an international educational organization committed to protecting innocent human life. Life Issues Institute knows what it takes. That's why millions throughout the world turn here for help. Life Issues Institute has authored more pro-life publications than any other entity in the world, and its materials are printed in over 30 languages. Radio broadcasts, newsletters, and a website filled to the brim with the answers you're looking for are just a click away. Go to facinglife.tv and click on the link to Life Issues Institute to find out more about how you can change the heart of a nation.
The average family may feel ill-equipped to provide care for a child with emotional or physical disorders, but Focus on Youth is dedicated to providing families with the tools they need to succeed in parenting these children. They offer different levels of training classes each week. Classes include how to deal with cultural issues, sexual abuse, managing behaviors, finding permanency, and even how to properly install a car seat.
So we do a lot of things, a lot of different kinds of training that's real hands-on and that's going to really equip the parent to have these kids in their homes. Most of the parents say, wow, I wish I had had this training when my kids are little, but parenting doesn't come with a manual, but foster parenting does. So we can really help families get some good information.
Do you find you customize training to fit the parents' particular needs that they'll be facing with a particular child?
We do, and we call that we have even our state rules allowed for a part of your training. They require us to do like training curriculum and training, a training needs assessment for each family.
So the core.
Right, so we have core training and then we have additional training. And if you've got a child in your home, if you're a foster parent who maybe has a G-tube or a ventilator, then we're going to get you down to the hospital and get some more training for you on how to manage a G-tube and a ventilator, because I'm not the best person to teach you that. But if you have a child with ADHD, I can help teach with that.
They're really top notch on trainings and things like that, trying new things, and you know, what's best for the kids, not always what's best for us. We want to see this kid flourish instead of being thrown from this home to that home or whatever.
Did the training that you've received from Focus on Youth then make you more confident in being parents?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, being a parent is a learning process. You know, you
No.
you just don't get a book in the mail that tells you how to be a parent. It's a learning process.
Yeah.
And do we make mistakes? Yes, we do. You know, and but we learn from our mistakes and we go on.
It's helped us not only with our foster and adopted children, but with our own children. I think sometimes we'll go to trainings and we come home and the kids are like, okay, what are you going to do different now? You know, what's going to be new now? What'd you learn this time? So, and we do. There's many times we go to the trainings and we learn something new and something different. And we do come home and change things. And I think in all the years that we fostered, we are better parents now than what we were way back then.
The idea of fostering or adopting a child with special needs may seem intimidating. However, Kim and Kevin Bennett emphasize the joys and rewards of caring for these children. They talk about how working with an agency that offers support and specialized training is key to making the process easier, and it erases any doubts or reservations parents may have.
I don't think that you need to be intimidated, because whether the child is what people call perfectly normal or they have problems, all children have problems. Mm-hmm. Whether they've had the best life situations or not the best life situations, they need love. If you have love to give, then there's no reason to be intimidated. When the situations come, we as parents, we just tend to take them on and deal with them. You know, I think that you just live with the hand that's dealt to you. And when the kids come in, it's no different. You know, we don't look at the kids and say, oh my goodness, they've got these problems and what am I going to do? No, it's just the life, it's just the hand that's dealt to you, and you just deal with it and you learn to deal with it. And before you know it, I don't know if it's that the child changes or you actually change, your whole family changes, but those situations, those problems that seem so major are not so big anymore. I'm telling you, the kids that have problems will enrich your lives so much, and they give you so much, more than you can probably give them.
What recommendations or advice do you have then for parents who are looking to foster, parent, or adopt children?
Look for an agency that will give you the training and the support that you need. Mm-hmm. Are they going to be there for you at 11 o'clock at night when you've got a child that's maybe bouncing off the walls and you don't know what to do? Is there somebody you're going to be able to call? Is there somebody that's going to actually come out to your house if you really, really need an intervention?
One of the greatest reservations that come with foster parenting is having to eventually let the child return to their home. While watching children go is hard, Kim and Kevin believe the difference they've made and the change they see in a child's life can make it all worthwhile.
It's hard to let them go. You form a bond with them, you know. Any amount of time you invest in this child and see them flourish and things, you go through the good times and obviously the bad times, and you form a bond with that child. You know, they're not your biological children. They're still your kid in a way.
We have to believe that we instilled something in them that will help them later in their life. We have to hold to that, or we couldn't continue to do it. Mm-hmm. We know and believe in our hearts that we have done the best that we can to parent them, and hopefully we've shown them a different way of living than maybe what they've come out of.
In a moment, we'll hear about the importance of foster care and how it positively changes the lives of children across the country.
Thank you for inviting us into your home. Each week we feature real people who deal with real life issues head on. Some of their experiences are uplifting, while others will break your heart. But in the end, the message is clear. Those who follow biblical principles on the issues of life are blessed. Become a partner with us in providing a positive, life-affirming message to help change the way the next generation values innocent human life. Please consider a generous gift to help offset the costs of producing this important quality programming. You can donate on our secure website at facinglife.tv or by calling the phone number on your screen during normal business hours. Together, we can make a real difference for life.
There are children all across the country that desperately need loving and caring homes. Families who are willing to step up and care for children with special needs can add lasting value and worth to the life of a child who has been continually overlooked.
Without foster families, what would happen to the children? You know, there are families that cannot care for their children.